So welcome everybody to our first terminology group coaching. You see, I still have the Zoom background. I also had an online oral exam today. Very interesting one, advanced one. One of our terminology family members in the US did a very interesting presentation today, and it was he registered in July, I think, and finished already now. So I think this is quite a good half a year. Is quite good. We also had, of course, people who did it in 3 months. Yeah. So, but some people in 3 years. So, dear colleagues, I hope that you had a good start into this new year, and all your cameras are closed. Please open your cameras so that I can smile at you directly. Hello, hello. Oh, all the old friends. Hello, hello. So good to see you.
Hello.
So good to see you again. I'm really sorry for this light today. It's I don't know what to do. A bit better. So I hope that you had also a good terminology start into the new year. Jumbo. So good to see you. Hello, hello. I would like to start with an exciting announcement, and you will receive, of course, also email newsletters about our this year terminology summer school. I think we announced it already, but now registration is open. And I would like to seize the opportunity also to share coupon codes, discount codes with you. Because those who registered for a course or are Termnet members, I think we do not have Termnet. Yeah, we have Jambao, the Termnet members. They have a discount. So this year, and please allow me to share my screen so that I can show you the website. But I can't find it here. So I have to click on it. Sorry. Yeah, it's always the same, actually. Same website, and we show you in a second. So, here we go. Here we go. We are very, very excited to go to Georgia, to Tbilisi. It was also in December that I think mid end September, December last year. They got the official status. Georgia got the official status as EU candidate, EU member candidate. So this is also good news, of course, for our colleagues in Georgia. They are already preparing, of course, to translate the acquis communautaire, this legal document of European Union that all EU member states, of course, have to translate into their language. The Georgian language is very interesting, and when you go to this website, right? So it's shop termnet EU. We stopped having exclusively the TSS website because it's just nice to have always the same URL. And there you will not only find this picture, but you will also find, I hope it opens now. Because there is a lot of, there is a lot of information about Georgia. There is a video, also very nice one. And hi, Carl, welcome. So good to see you.
Hi, Happy New Year, everyone.
Hi. Happy New Year, Carl. All the very best. And of course, it's hybrid again, right? It is for all those who will not or cannot come to Georgia. They will have the opportunity again to join us online. The universities, 2 universities are going to host us. They are very, very modern. They have great infrastructure, so it will be no issue to join. We will record again, and so as we did since the pandemic, and the program already is there, a draft program. I really recommend. I do not want to take too much time for the summer school. I just wanted to share with you, just to warn you, yeah, that you have to save the dates. It's again, it's again pay per day model. So if you find something interesting for you for 1 day or 2 days, you have the opportunity to purchase only this day. Don't ask me why now the website I understand. Yeah, because it opened here. I will show you. Yeah, I wanted to show you this because it's really interesting about the language. It's at the website. When you click then the icon about Georgia, the picture, then this document opens, and I really recommend to read through, because it's quite, there are also then the links, there is the video, right? So a PDF, when you click on that on the picture of the modern Tbilisi, then you get this PDF document, and there you have a video about Georgia. You have all the interesting information and references about the Georgian language. So I can recommend this. And you will see one more link to the, I don't know why this. Yes, now I understand, because it opens in a new document. So I have to go back to the website and just show you that there is also the venue, the program. Trainers frequently ask questions where I am now. So let me come back. Here we go. So this is the website, and there you have all the the details, also the pay per day module, online, on site. It will be a fantastic program, social program. Every day there is an excursion, our traditional social event, the joint dinner, which is included in the fees, will be on Monday, but we have an excursion on every day, right? And since again we are hosted by universities, we have 1 full day, which is interesting for everybody, for the practitioners who didn't see a university or school for a long time. It is particularly interesting to see how terminology as a science, not silence, science evolved and further developed. So there will be the opportunity to really meet our Georgian friends, scholars, but also from governmental institutions, of course, because they are the ones, right, to have them to translate the acquis communautaire to Georgian language. So of course we follow the modules, the skilled units of the terminology driving license, our CTM, our CQA certified terminology manager certificate, but of course with a lot of this local flavor. So again, we like last year, of course, we will also talk about IATE, the EU terminology database, about projects. Rodolfo Macias, is he here already? Ah, Christian is here. This is wonderful. Christian is here, the godfather of terminology from Colombia. Christian, this is amazing.
From Colombia. Yeah.
Super. It's very cold in Vienna. You do not miss anything. It's chilly, freezing. What's the temperature in Colombia?
Here in the mountains, about 2,500 meters high, it's agreeable. It's about 20 degrees.
Yeah. Wow. And in the city, it's hot. It's boiling.
Yes. So I entered right in time to hear about the terminology summer school.
Exactly. We had to postpone, Christian. We started 10 minutes ago. Today it's not 4 p.m., but it's 5 p.m. That's why we just started. So you picked the best time. Yeah. Then, of course, we have one day dedicated to the quality aspect. Right, overview on standards, but also future key competences. Right, we go a little bit broader. There was Christian. It was, I think, at the Council for German Terminology that someone said, yeah, the job profile of a terminologist in the future will be a prompt engineer, right? You know, from artificial intelligence, there it's really it's essential that you are able to formulate intelligent prompts so that the artificial intelligence can then find the right thing, yeah, you're searching for. Then we also have our terminology strategies on day 4. There we are discussing these issues, right? So what does this actually mean? It's nothing new. As you know, artificial intelligence, we have machine translation since many, many years now. But with this neural translation, machine translation, and now, of course, with the ChatGPT, everybody's crazy about that. And ChatGPT is only one application, right? There are hundreds of other artificial intelligence tools. And of course, for us, for the terminology community, this is interesting to discuss what this all means. Yeah, and what are the implications, what are the trends, right? And we also have a very, very good speaker, Professor Burcu from Turkey. She is specialized on crisis terminology, right? Also a hot topic, and interesting how to of course make terminology available in these crisis situations, which tools, which applications are there, etc. Right. And the highlight, this is always my favorite, right? On Friday is always time for the participants projects, and this counts also for the oral exam, right? The oral. That's the first step. Your oral project presentation with these 20 minutes for your presentation, and then 10 minutes question and answers asked by an ECQA certified assessor. So this is, you have then the detailed, I will not open it. You have the detailed program with the speakers. It's let's say it's 80%. It's actually 80% is fixed, yeah, in the program. So we always call it draft program because it can change until the last minute, right? But 80% of the content is actually already agreed, and most of the speakers are confirmed there. Christian Galinski will be there as well. Christian, online or in person? Maybe online. You have to go to Mongolia, I think. I think he left us. No. Okay.
Yeah. Plan to be there in person.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
But our presentation should be rather in the beginning.
Okay.
As you mentioned, we have to continue from Tbilisi to go to
Yes. In Mongolia, there are also very, very interesting terminology activities going on for the artificial intelligence and all these, tools, and also machine translation. Of course, you need text corpora, right? The more you have in terms of content text corpora available, the sooner you can benefit also from all these AI tools and applications. So let me share with you this one. This is interesting because it's the discounts and of course you will get that in personalized emails, right? But just to show you, if you know people, right? For instance, also students, right? So but students in terms of master students, right? And not people like me. I'm always a student, but I wouldn't need a discount, let's say, right? So students in terms of it's not about age, yeah, but it's about let's say your real profession. If you allocate 100% or 80% of your time to your studies, then you're a student, no matter how old you are, right? And you might qualify for this a discount. So let me show. We have nice. Yes. Go. All of you, or I think most of you, maybe not all of you, but most of you are either. So these TSS Student Plus, this is really for the Georgian students, the local students who support us, right? So they will not pay anything. Yeah, they get a 100% discount. Then we have this new since last year, and there were quite a few of people who came across our information and announcement of TSS via LinkedIn, right? So they get with this coupon code called LinkedIn, then they get 15% discount. We have you, most of you have CTM stands for ECQA Certified Terminology Manager course. If you made a course, an online course, you get 30%, 30. So please seize this opportunity. And it's really, you just, when you go through all these paying process, at the end, there is this field. Yeah, do you have it's standardized. Yeah, you know that, I'm sure. And then when you type in CTM/TSS 2024, then you get this 30% for all, right? So for if you purchase one day or all the 5, the full package, it's no matter, you get 30%. Then we have the TSS local, those who, the speakers and those who do not support us. Since it's Georgia, we give 35%, right? Like also for our Mongolian friends, Christian, this applies also. So this TSS dash, not slash, but dash local is 75%. Then we have these regular students I was talking about. They get 50%, 50. There were a lot of wonderful PhD students and master students last year in Naples. That was really amazing. They all got the 50%. And the Termnet members, they always get 20%, and their members, right? Christian.
50% for the local from Greece. Is it Greece or
Georgia?
Georgia. Okay.
Yes. Yes, if they are not supporting us. If they are supporting us, they don't pay anything. Then they are the TSS Student Plus, the first code. but I will send that out anyhow to you. Just wanted to share that with you, that we have really a system that nobody should not attend due to the fees. So that was it. Who is considering attending the summer school again? I hope a lot of you. Online or on site. Yes, Carol?
I'm a PhD student here in Brazil, so maybe I can attend the hybrid version.
Of course. Super. Okay, so this was the summer school. And now, please, the floor is yours. What happened? The year is new, but do you have to share some good news with us? And I see the colleague from Scania. Please reach out to me for your written exam. We witnessed, we enjoyed your oral exam. So now it's time then for the written exam. And I also have good news. We have very soon, we have also the self-assessment for engineering online. This was missing, and we took it as an opportunity to revise the questions. Yeah, so to really have a look. For instance, some of the standards, they just changed, right? So we always have to be up to date here. Okay.
Gabrielle,
yes.
I wanted to ask you where I could find information about the requirements for the final project, the oral exam.
Yes, I will send.
I'm a freelance translator, so
yes.
I don't know.
Actually, but do you do you have access to a training course? Did you buy a course? Because
yes.
there it should be there. It's one presentation, but I can send it to you, and it's actually very simple. Yeah, the requirement is that you do it's standardized, like in the summer school. They had 20 minutes for the oral presentations, and nobody will interrupt and or ask questions. And after these 20, and you are presenting your terminology project or work, right? Even if you don't have a real one. Yeah, for some PhD students, this is they present for instance, the ideal terminology project, right? What they would wish to do. Yeah? It's just for us to show that you really understood the theory, that you're able to apply in practice, right?
Okay, I'll write that down.
So that is the logic behind. Yeah, it's remember, it's a driving license. It's not another certificate that you learned something in theory. Yeah, but that you can apply it. Yeah, that's why it's way more important to show us these practical
things. So I have to show what I learned and show that I can apply
how you would apply it. Exactly. Usually PhD students, they have already a work experience, so you can take it from that. You can also, we had in the past, we had very nice example of worst case, yeah, how a terminology project or how terminology should not be managed. Yeah, you find a lot of these examples online, for instance, right? Or in product descriptions or in user manuals. Yeah? We had a very nice presentation once where people collected very bad translations or very inconsistent terminology cases. Yeah? So this can also be a starting point, and then you explain and elaborate how you can fix this, how you can avoid these errors, inconsistencies, etc. Right.
Okay. Great.
Thank you. This is the first step. You have to qualify for the written exam, because the written exam is then only a multiple choice test, right? So this is it's longish. Yeah, it is challenging and high quality, but it's more this factual knowledge, so that you're showing us, yes, you are a state of the art in terms of knowledge about only these issues we are discussing during the training, right?
Are we going to have access to the? Oops.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Will we have access to the recording of the oral exam of the Scania guys?
Sure.
Because I would like to watch that again.
Of course, I
get a
sent
better
it
grasp
out.
of-
Actually, I sent it out.
You
I will.
did?
Yes.
I didn't get it.
Yes. But I can forward it to you again.
If
No
you can do
worries.
that would be
Of
great.
course.
Thank
Just
you.
remind me, Carol. Okay.
I
Just
will,
shoot
I
me an
will,
email.
okay.
Please. I didn't get
I'll put down a reminder for me to remind you.
Yes, please do so.
Thank you.
So please, Monica.
Hi. So yeah, so just in terms of the exam, I do have a project, but unfortunately it's a different scenario. It's not like with that interesting project with Scania where we had kind of the owner of the terminology project
Yeah.
taking part. So in my case, I would not be able to disclose the name of the client. Would that be okay?
Of
So
course.
everything would need to be,
Of course.
yeah.
Yes. This was a very special event. I'm so grateful that the colleagues
Yes.
from Scania really presented that even during a terminology group coaching, and that we were allowed to record it. This is very rare. Usually when you work for a company, they are like oysters. They don't want to disclose anything. So that's okay. And it will be only the two of us, Monica, for the oral presentation, right? It's not during the group coaching. That was a wonderful
I didn't realize
exception.
that.
Yes,
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
You
Yeah.
just schedule a date with me, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. What else?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
please.
Happy New Year,
Happy New
everyone.
Year, Aisha too.
Yeah, for the oral exam, it comes before the written one, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And we can schedule it outside the coaching sessions.
Yes. Anytime. We
Okay.
just need to find a date, and it's only half an hour, right? So it's really these 20 minutes when you present, 10 minutes then when me or other ECQA certified assessors ask you about the project, and that's it, right? So it's very flexible. We will schedule a date individually, and that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Pleasure. What else? Any questions for the course or the exam? Yes, Carl, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a excuse me. I have a question about a current issue at work.
Very
We're
good.
finally convincing life science client to go from monolingual to bilingual glossaries.
Oh.
They manufacture medical devices and they have different product lines. At this point, they have a number of monolingual glossaries that they created for the product lines. And those product lines are not too different from each other, some overlap, some connectivity. And they're debating if they want to have one global glossary for all product lines or individual ones for each product line. My preference would be to have a global glossary to distinguish with metadata to which product it belongs. Because that would allow me also to see if there's any inconsistencies, if there's any duplicates of terms, any partial overlaps, things like that. So I'm wondering if you or anyone in this group would agree with that approach, and if you have possibly additional arguments that I can present to the client to go to a global glossary.
Wonderful. So please, the floor is open. A global glossary. Good arguments.
Rather than product line based individual glossaries, a whole hodgepodge of different glossaries.
Yeah. Christian, I'm sure that you you
Yeah.
have good argument. Please go
Mm.
ahead. Yes, and then Kersin.
Okay. I can only support to have a global approach, as you had the arguments already. And today, anything is based on metadata anyhow.
Right.
So you can split up a global glossary or deduce the various product lines just through metadata.
Exactly.
So some people can have a selective approach, others maybe a monolingual approach, others a multilingual approach. It's all based on a good design of the metadata.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Kersin, please.
Yes, just to add that several years ago, we made a short survey among the language service providers, the translators here, for us, because we had the things divided up in 2 or 3 dictionaries, and we're considering adding more dictionaries to cover more subject fields. But the translators actually working with these dictionaries as glossaries preferred to have it all in one glossary, but with tags.
Right.
So we redesigned the whole thing, and well, you have seen the result. We have one giant dictionary with quite a lot of data categories and tags and so on.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but for the practical purposes, then for the actual translators working with it, they wanted rather one big dictionary with tags rather than several different ones. So that might be an argument to put forward.
Thank you.
Super. What else? Other experiences? Supporting arguments? Questions? You might want to ask Karl a question. Yes, please, Christian, go ahead.
If I may add, from the point of view of content curation, it's a difference whether you have 500 entries or 50,000 entries. And the global approach facilitates cooperative content curation. That means the maintenance and updating of the data. So that's
Exactly.
also something to take into account, because that saves, but in the long run, it saves a lot of human effort. That means money, actually.
Right, right. The maintenance aspect is definitely something that they're taking into account. The individual glossaries are all, from what I've seen so far, less than 100 words each. So we're not talking about a really huge glossary. They do have good metadata in terms of definitions. The monolingual glossaries are actually in good condition. And as I mentioned, we're working on moving them to bilingual and multilingual glossaries so that those glossaries can actually be used in term recognition and also in consistency checks with tools like Xbench or so.
Super. What else?
Thank you.
If I may add, from my perspective of an auditor for ISO 17100, ISO 18587 for machine translation, past editing, you know, a translation memory is also dealt with like a glossary.
Right.
Sometimes they even call it term base. It's very painful for me. Then I clarify. Okay, you're talking about a TM, a term base terminology management. Oops. Are you talking about a translation memory, right? and even a smaller a translation service provider ends up with such a huge amount, right, of translation memories, of glossaries. It's client-based, then it's subject-based. So still, this is common practice. Sometimes really I cannot understand why. It's just so much used, and people just take it for granted that there is no better way. Whenever I ask, why don't you have a central, a real term base, a terminology database? And then, oh wow, well, it's quite handy. We can we can muddle through, or we can manage it. Maybe it could be an argument that you get rid of this common practice that is very time and resource consuming, right? And you always then need also what TSPs do in practice. They allocate always the same translators to the same clients, which makes sense because then it's the chance to be more consistent is higher. Yeah.
Exactly.
But when you have all this, when you have the decent translation memories, the good glossary, when you have this included, right, and with this import export function, it's not difficult to do, right? Then of course you can filter, you can everything is in one source of truth, right? So this could also be an argument that you will not overlook something. You will not need always the same translators, right, for the same client or the same product line, but you can handle this in a way more professional. Yeah. So the keywords could be professional. It could be your USP, your unique selling proposition, that you do something really more sustainable and more professional. Right.
Great. Thank you for your input. It
Pleasure.
confirms along the lines I was thinking, and so that's
Yes.
and adds additional arguments. So
Yeah.
grateful for that. Thank you.
Carl, we are preaching that since ages. Ask Christian. Yeah, it was always
and old habits with the clients are hard to change. But yeah, a lot of client education involved, of course.
Yes. Of course. But it's also this the hustle. Yeah, it's so the time pressure always makes us think that, oh, but now to come up with a database, and then people don't know how to handle it. So I think it's really this old problem that we are too busy to think about once allocating time for something that will save you so much time then in the future.
Absolutely.
So good luck with your argumentation, and whenever you need further input or support, please let us know. Super. What else? What are your current terminal? The year is new, so are there any new exciting projects you have? Or new colleagues? Andre, what about you? New scientific projects, maybe? Are you still at the university, Andre?
Yes. What is topical now is I have to go again to the northern region.
Yes.
But now working with the regional council, and we have to see how to bring the official document to the local community.
Yeah.
So I've not yet taken the position. I've passed the interview to go there, and as a head of translation and promotion of bilingualism unit, and also to promote local languages. That would be this is a different appointment from what I was in the far north. In the far north, I was just in the secondary education. But now I'm going to work with the local government, because the country has undergone decentralization. And as I said here, we have several national languages. There are about 240. So any local community talking a separate language. So French and English is the only factor for us to be united in Cameroon. And now that we are going as a decentralized state, every region you will find different local languages, and the majority of the population are speaking, but these local languages.
Yeah.
The French speakers are only French and English are only the learned population, those who had a chance to go to school.
Yeah.
And I can estimate that they can be about 25% of the population in Cameroon today. Those who can speak English, read English, and write English. But now the difficulty that we have also there, as I was talking to the delegate, that the problem that we are going to face, first thing, I don't speak those languages. I speak my local languages, which is here in Yaoundé, we call Ewondo, which is my native language. But now, with my expertise, I have to go and work there so that we use the local population. The first thing is that I have to learn their language first.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes, to be able now to start seeing if we can draft a policy, a terminology, because I talked of a terminology policy,
Yeah.
dictionaries, because when they are using mobile phones, but the mobile phones that they use, those people who are illiterate in French and English, the mobile phone is either in French or in English. The mobile phone is not in Hausa, for instance, but what in their common, that is trading, business, talking about love, they speak in their language. They only speak the official languages, which have by constitution, which is French and English. They only try to speak when they come to court, when they go to apply for something with the administration. Because in the market, if you want to buy, you will speak with the woman in the local language.
Yeah.
So it is a challenge that I want to really embark. Maybe by next month I will be there already.
Yeah.
To see how we can start that new, and it goes along with my project already. But I have to I will have to switch because I work there. I worked there for 5 to 6 years
I know, yes.
in that
You
collectivity,
told
yes.
us, yeah.
Which means that I will drop what I was already doing in my native language here to go there and concentrate first thing to learn their language, and now to see how we can speak computer, how we can use the computer in those language. And the idea is we first get the dictionaries, that is the terminology.
Yeah.
Already in the secondary education where I'm coming from, the policy state that we should promote those. They are already teaching the languages in the primary and secondary schools. I think up to ordinary level, they still increase. But the teachers, as I was in this ministry, the teachers still face the issue. How do we coin technical pharmaceutical terms?
Of course. Yeah.
How do we coin? Do we simply import the terms?
Yeah.
That is, we take the English terms and then we use them in our languages, which means that our languages will be, but we can say maybe the syntax, the grammar will survive, but the terminology will be, we say, borrowing.
Yes.
We borrow everything.
Yeah.
So I'm still thinking of the strategy as I'm there. We'll bring the issues quite often here so that we can discuss to see how we can step in, because the work is not yet done.
Yeah.
Even in French and English, you remember the first work that I did in the Ministry of Public Works, that we should try to harmonize the terminology, was from French to English. Because the real issue here is that although we are a bilingual country, French is the dominant language, because the majority of the learned population speaks French. and the officials mostly speak French, and the English community is only 2 regions out of 10. So what we have experienced was that from the first government to this government that has stayed for very long, the president first is French speaking. He doesn't, when he speaks in French, and then the interpreters will come in for the speeches. So you see that already in Cameroon, English people have been, like, say, marginalized. And then the work that we did in the Ministry of Public Works was that we tried to translate the scientific terms in English and standardize, so that when we have, let's say, letterheads, when we have, let's say, structures, appellations of structures, offices, we should have the same rendition in English. Because what obtained was that this official will come and give his own appellation of a structure. Let's say, will give his own appellation, maybe because he was in school in Canada. Another one from the USA will come now and use a different. So we have done that in the Ministry of Public Works, and I'm not longer there, but it's working quite well. It's working well in French and English. But I think this is the first ministry that that work has been done. The other ministries, they are picking up, trying to do their glossaries of terms and so on, but it's still at the grassroots.
What would help, Andre? We talked. Could you mentioned the terminology policy, because I think we were talking about the UNESCO documents and all the experience we made with coining terms and drafting terminology policies in South Africa 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So these activities, how can we support you? What would you need? What do you think is really important? Maybe you want to have a speech at Terminology Summer School, because the situation in Georgia, in Mongolia, of course it's different, but some of the mechanisms as text corpora and so on, or the use of tools you mentioned computers, maybe also in mobile phones, right? That there might be an opportunity to be maybe faster in learning each other's language, and then deciding on policies and what you think. How could we support you? That's my question. What would you need to?
Yeah, actually, I can say that the support will be, first of all, that training that I'm already getting.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good to hear. You made me
that
happy.
training that I'm already getting, to be able to, because if I was successful in convincing the Minister of Public Works to start a terminology, and he really loaded the effort, meaning that I can do that somewhere else. But now there was a disruption. From the Ministry of Public Works, I went back to the Ministry of Secondary Education. And I'm looking for an organization that is likely to work with me in that light. Because in the ministry is a governmental body that works in French and in English. Yeah. And then we'll do the work that is already done there, over there, in Europe, in America. We just have to complement with certain, as we say, French in Cameroon, English in Cameroon, which is not very significant. But the work as for development that we have to do here is that we will have to go from our local languages. That is, taking the technology from French to English, so that those languages, those communities can be able to use their environment, their linguistic environment to grow. Now, what is most important for me now to be able to really say what I would like in my project was to embark in such an organization. And I'm pleased that the regional, the president of the regional council is already very favored with the idea that I gave during the interview. I have to sit down with the Secretary General, and then we see how to start drafting a plan. How the thematic is that how do we carry administration from French to English to the local population? It is through their national languages,
of course,
and through terminology. And now we now face all the challenges as per se. Do we use borrowing? Do we? What do we use? Now it will be in the course of the work. But for now, I have to draft the term of reference, submit as I did in the Ministry of Public Works with the approval, because we can derive finance from outside, but the basic necessity. Because the advantage of the council is that the council can partner abroad without necessarily the intervention of the central government in the present policy that is implemented in the country. So I will need more to concentrate first in the training, having a certificate, being certified, even doing engineering, because at that particular point, technology is still here. I have the chance because I've been working as a freelancer since 2005. So I got training, Trados, WordFast, all these things. But this, when you look at, if you go to an administration here, having a video conference is, though we had a COVID-19, we are coming back to paper work. That is, COVID-19 was a chance for us to be able to work online with the platform. But as soon as we close the chapter of COVID-19, we come back to the all red tape. So the technology, we need them. We need them actually, that we have the training, because when I follow the training, linguistic patterns, I have them. I've done linguistics in the university. But now, how do I apply? Want to create the metadata and so on? That one will be a kind of things that I have to learn. I really need a training in that. And not only myself, because I'm also getting old. I will need to form a team that people should sit down, and then we brainstorm, and then have people to federate, and then we can now, from the training, we can start working.
Christian, maybe you have some, Christian, maybe you have some, from your vast experience, you have some tips or recommendations for André Désiré?
Yes, indeed. Of course, you should use international standards. That is, I think that you are well aware of that. And they are the standard on terminology policies, how to design a terminology policy. It's a big issue also in countries like Mongolia, in South Africa, etc. But that's the sort of meta level, the policy arena. If it comes to the nitty-gritties of the daily use, and you, as I understood, you want to use mobile technology, mobile phones, etc. It would, of course, be useful that you have the user interface in your national languages for your people.
Yes.
But also to use the data when they write. Can be students at any level in the educational system, can also be, if it's terminology, can be experts, and that you can immediately look up the data through your mobile phone from some repositories where you also get some further information.
Yeah.
If you want to have, I would need a bit more information about your background, and then I can put you in contact with organizations that are working in that field, also with funding opportunities.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Andre, I bring you together with Christian, right?
Yeah.
So that you have your email address, then you can follow up. Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing these good news and sharing your challenges with us. We really will do our best to support you as much as possible. What
Yeah.
else, dear colleagues? We still have 5 minutes.
Hello.
Yes, please, Andre. The other
Yeah.
Andre.
Yeah, yeah.
Please.
Yeah, well, Happy New Year. I have a question regarding copyrights. So this year I'm going to be much more interested in making videos, and I'm going to use sound, well, popular songs, but and translating some part of it. And I know that for the sound, I need to indicate the author and the title and all of the references. But when it comes to the translation, well, in some cases there's only one translation, and it's already official. So what happens if I translate, I use my own translation, but it's match exactly what is already public? Do I have to also mention put the reference of the original translation, or can I just leave it as, because it's also my own translation?
Excellent question. And you are lucky, because Christian Galinski is the expert in copyright.
Oh, yes, true.
For terminology. Please, Christian.
I hope I got your question correctly. Anyhow, if the material is the public domain, also the translations will be in the public domain. Yeah, and the what is important is the indication of the original, the reference to the original, that you always have that. If it's about terminological data, for instance, or lexicographical data, the data themselves are considered to be state-of-the-art knowledge, current knowledge. So there's no copyright on terminology, not even on the definitions, and not on lexicography. But if you have a very elaborate system with your specific metadata, etc., then the system itself, plus the data could be to some degree under copyright, or under what is it called? Rather under the exploitation rights. Yeah. So in some cases, then you have to ask ask the authors, the originators, for the agreement that you can reuse it for replay and whatsoever, and also for translation. But for the data itself, the verbal data, there is no copyright. Anyhow, yeah.
Okay.
Structured data.
So
if it's text, then there you have a threshold. If you just take 2 or 3 sentences of a big article of a book, I think there's no copyright on that. Even if the author or the publisher quote says any part of the work is under copyright. No, that doesn't work. Yeah? So if it's just a low amount of text that you use, it's okay. If you copy whole pages or paragraphs, then of course that could become a copyright infringement.
All right, okay.
Thank you
Okay,
very
I
much
understand.
indeed.
Thank you very much, Christian.
Thank you so much, Christian. Thank you so much, dear colleagues. That was it for today. So please save the date, 1st July to 5th July. This year is our terminology summer school, where Christian Galinski will also have a presentation about copyright as every year, and he updates this every year. So it's always really, really interesting and important for all of us. So wish you a great weekend, and next, let me check, because I hope in February again we have the 2nd Thursday. I'm sorry, but the 1st February, which would be our usual date, is not possible for me. It will be the 8th, the 8th February. But for this was really an exception today. It will be 4 p.m. as usual. Okay, and you will get a reminder together also with these recordings of today. So I hope it was useful for me. It was so nice for you. Sorry, for me it was very, very nice to see you guys. Thank you for your good questions, and please for the February group coaching, it's also nice when you prepare in advance some of the questions, so that we can have as many as possible. I think you know already that there is no question that where there is an answer from our group. The wisdom of this group is extraordinary, and please don't hesitate to really prepare things. There is no stupid question. Right, there is when it's very basic, it's in many cases the most important ones, the basic questions, right? So please don't be shy. Really send me questions to prepare the group coaching. Thank you very much indeed. Wish you all the best again also for the new year. Pleasure seeing you in February 8th.
Bye.
All the best.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.